Welcome to your first sub-account setup. Today we will create your first SAP BTP Subaccount. Think of it as your personal workspace where you can build and manage cloud applications. For example, a retailer might set up a sub-account to develop a customer loyalty app separate from their main systems. This hands-on step is your foundation for all future SAP BTP projects. Think of sub-accounts as separate workspaces for your projects. This means each project gets its own secure area to manage apps and services independently without affecting others. For example, your development team can experiment in one sub-account while production runs smoothly in another. This separation keeps everything organized and secure for each initiative. This is your foundation for managing SAP BTP services. Think of it as your dedicated workspace where you organize and control all your cloud tools. For instance, a company might create one sub-account for their development team to build a new app and another for production to run it live. Everything you do on SAP BTP starts with this setup. We will go step by step. You can do this. That means I will guide you through each part of the setup process one at a time, so it is easy to follow. For example, we will start by creating your sub-account, just like setting up a new workspace for a project. This methodical approach will ensure your success. A sub-account is your dedicated space in SAP BTP. A sub-account is like a separate workspace in SAP BTP. It allows you to organize and manage your cloud resources independently for different projects or teams. For example, a company could have one sub-account for development and another for production testing. This structure helps keep your environments isolated and secure. It helps organize different projects or teams. This means you can separate your work cleanly, like having different folders for each initiative. For example, a company could have one sub-account for their HR team's applications and another for the finance team's tools. This clear separation makes managing resources and access straightforward for everyone involved. Each sub-account can have its own services and users. This means you can independently assign applications and data storage and control who has access within each sub-account. For instance, a company could have one sub-account for HR apps and another for finance, each with different tools and user permissions. This separation ensures organized and secure management of your cloud resources. You can have multiple sub-accounts for different purposes. This means you can create separate spaces within SAP BTP for distinct projects or teams. For instance, one sub-account could be for development, another for testing, and a third for production. This separation helps you organize and manage each environment independently. Understanding the strategic need for sub-accounts. Keep different environments separate and organized. This means isolating development, testing, and production stages to prevent interference. For example, developers can build new features in a development sub-account without affecting the live production application used by customers. This structure ensures each environment remains stable and secure for its specific purpose. Control access: who can see and use what. This means you can precisely manage permissions for different teams. For example, finance staff access only financial apps, while developers see only development tools. This targeted access ensures security and efficiency by restricting users to relevant resources. Manage costs and resources for each project. This means you can track spending and allocate computing power, storage, and services to specific initiatives independently. For example, a development team can have its own sub-account with a dedicated budget for testing, separate from the production environment. This precise control ensures financial accountability and efficient use of your cloud assets. Follow best practices for security and management. This means organizing your resources properly to control access and prevent unauthorized changes. For example, you can create separate sub-accounts for development and production teams, ensuring developers cannot accidentally modify live production systems. This structured approach keeps your applications secure and running smoothly. Accessing the SAP Business Technology Platform cockpit. Open your web browser and go to the SAP BTP cockpit. This means using a browser like Chrome to navigate to the central web interface for managing your BTP services. For instance, a developer would do this to check their application's status. Now you can begin exploring and managing your cloud environment directly. Log in with your SAP BTP credentials. This means using your specific username and password for the SAP Business Technology Platform. For example, a developer would use these to enter the cockpit and begin building an application. This secure access is your first step to managing all your cloud resources. Look for the Global Account view. This is where we start. This is the main entry point where you can see and manage all your resources and subscriptions in one place. For example, a company administrator uses this view to oversee all their development projects and cloud services. Mastering this view is your first step to effectively using the platform. Take a moment to explore the main navigation menu. This is your central hub to access all services and tools in BTP. For instance, you can navigate to services to find and manage applications like SAP Build apps. Familiarizing yourself with this menu will make your daily tasks much more efficient. Step 1. Locate the Create Subaccount button. In your global account, look for the Subaccounts section. This means you will navigate to the main overview page and locate the area labeled for managing subaccounts. For instance, just like finding the Departments section in a company directory to access different teams. This is your starting point for creating a new isolated environment. Click on the Subaccounts tab in the left menu. This is your starting point to access the area where you can manage your subaccounts. For instance, just like opening a specific folder on your computer to organize files. This simple step gets you ready to create and manage your cloud resources efficiently. Find the Create or Plus button, usually at the top right. This is the standard location in most interfaces to start making something new. For instance, like clicking Compose in your email to begin a new message. This action is your first step to creating your subaccount. Click it to start the creation process. This means you are initiating the setup of your dedicated space in SAP BTP. For instance, like pressing New Project in a design tool to begin your work. This single action transitions you from planning to actively building your cloud environment. Step 2. Basic information for your subaccount. Enter a display name, make it descriptive like My First Project. This helps you easily identify your subaccount among others. For instance, if you are building a sales app, name it Sales Analytics Project. A clear name ensures you can quickly locate and manage your work later. Choose a subdomain. This will be part of your URL. This means you pick a unique name that identifies your subaccount in the web address. For example, if you choose training, your URL could be training.authentication.us10.hana.ondemand.com. This ensures each subaccount has a distinct and accessible location. Select your region. Pick one close to your location. This means choosing the geographical data center where your subaccount will physically reside. For instance, if your company is based in Germany, you would select the Europe, Frankfurt region. This ensures faster performance and compliance with local data regulations, making your applications more efficient and secure for your users. Provide a description. What will this subaccount be used for? This means clearly stating its purpose, such as development or testing, so your team understands its role. For example, HR app development for European region. This simple step ensures everyone uses the subaccount correctly and avoids confusion, keeping your projects organized from the start. Step 3. Configuring environment and provider settings. Choose environment type. We will start with Cloud Foundry. This is simply selecting the platform where your applications will run. For instance, if building a travel expense app, Cloud Foundry provides the ready infrastructure to deploy it. This foundational choice streamlines your development process right from the start. Select provider, usually SAP for standard accounts. This means choosing SAP as your cloud service supplier to access their managed platform resources. For example, when setting up a development project, you pick SAP to ensure compatibility with their tools and support. This foundational choice streamlines your access to SAP's ecosystem. Leave other settings as default for now. This means do not change any additional configuration options beyond the required ones. For instance, when creating a subaccount, just set the display name and region, but skip advanced network or security settings. Sticking with defaults prevents unintended issues while you are learning. These can be changed later if needed. This means your initial choices for environment and provider settings aren't permanent. For instance, you might start with a trial account and later switch to a production environment as your project grows. This flexibility allows you to adapt your setup without starting over. Step 4. Review the configuration and create the solution. Double-check all the information you entered. This means carefully reviewing every detail before finalizing to prevent errors. For example, when setting up a new user account, verify the email address and permissions are correct. Taking this moment ensures your setup is accurate and avoids future complications. Make sure the name and region are correct. This ensures your service is identifiable and deployed in the right location for performance and compliance. For example, naming it HR AppDev and selecting Europe if your users are there. This simple check prevents future access or legal issues, so verify these details carefully before proceeding. Click Create to set up your subaccount. This action finalizes your configuration and deploys the subaccount on SAP BTP. For example, After entering your subaccount name and selecting a region, clicking Create makes it active for your team to use. This officially establishes your dedicated environment in the cloud. Wait a moment, the system will set everything up for you. This means the platform is automating the technical setup. For example, when you create a database, it provisions storage and configures security automatically. Your initial request is complete, and the system now handles the background work. Your subaccount is now ready for use. You will see your new subaccount in the list. This means your setup is complete, and it is now visible among your other accounts. For example, after creating a Dev Team Alpha subaccount, it appears alongside production and testing. This confirms you can now proceed to configure and deploy your applications. The status should show as ready or available. This means your subaccount is successfully set up and operational in SAP BTP. For instance, after creating a subaccount, you see Ready in the cockpit, confirming you can now deploy applications. This status is your green light to proceed with development and services. Click on your subaccount name to enter it. This means you select your specific workspace to access its tools and settings. For instance, like opening your personal office after arriving at the corporate building. This action is your first step to start building and managing your applications. Congratulations, you have created your first subaccount. This is your dedicated workspace in SAP BTP, where you will deploy applications and services. For example, it is like setting up a new department in your company with its own budget and tools. This foundational step enables all your future cloud development projects. Basic configuration: adding users. Inside your subaccount, go to Security Users. This means you navigate to the security settings within your SAP BTP space to manage who can access it. For instance, you might add a new developer to your team so they can start working on an application. Following this step is essential for controlling access to your cloud resources. Click Add User to invite team members. This action opens a form to input a colleague's email, granting them access to your SAP BTP Subaccount. For instance, when a new developer joins your project, you add them so they can start building applications immediately. This simple step ensures your team has the necessary access to collaborate effectively on the platform. Enter their email addresses. This means typing the exact email for each person you want to add to the system. For instance, when onboarding a new colleague, you would input their company email like john.doe@company.com. This action is the primary step to grant them platform access. Choose their roles. We will start with basic viewer access. This means assigning permissions so users can only see data, not change it. For example, a new intern might view sales reports but cannot edit them. Starting with viewer access ensures security while allowing necessary visibility. Understanding user roles in enterprise systems. Viewer can see but not change anything. This means the user has read-only access to view data and reports but cannot edit, delete, or add new information. For example, a viewer in an analytics app can see sales dashboards but cannot alter the figures. This role is ideal for stakeholders who need visibility without modification rights. developer can create and manage applications. This means they build and maintain software solutions on SAP BTP. For instance, a developer might create a mobile app for warehouse staff to scan inventory. Their role is essential for delivering functional applications that meet business needs. Admin full control over the subaccount. This means they can manage all services, security, and resources within that space. For instance, an admin could add new development tools or adjust memory limits for applications. Their comprehensive authority ensures the subaccount operates smoothly and securely according to organizational needs. Start with viewer roles and add more access as needed. This means granting minimal initial permissions and increasing them only when required for specific tasks. For example, a new team member begins with read-only access to reports. If they later need to edit data, you grant editor rights. This approach ensures security by following the principle of least privilege. What can you do now? Your subaccount is ready for services and applications. This means your dedicated workspace in SAP BTP is set up and configured, allowing you to start building and running solutions immediately. For example, you can now deploy a simple application to manage customer data. Everything is in place for you to begin your development work right away. You can add team members to collaborate. This means you can invite colleagues to work together on the same SAP BTP project, sharing access and responsibilities. For example, you might add a developer to help build an extension for your procurement application. This enables faster and more efficient teamwork on your cloud solutions. Explore the different sections of your subaccount. This means navigating the areas in your BTP workspace where you manage services and applications. For example, you might visit the Services section to enable a database for your app. Familiarizing yourself with these sections is the first step to effectively using the platform. You have built the foundation for your BTP projects. This means you now understand the core platform services and tools needed to start developing. For example, you could quickly create a simple app to track employee training using SAP Build. Your BTP skills are ready to bring real solutions to life. Let's practice and discuss the next steps. Try creating another subaccount for practice. This means using your skills to set up a separate, safe area in BTP. For instance, create a test subaccount named dev_test to experiment without affecting your main projects. This hands-on repetition will build your confidence and reinforce the process effectively. Experiment with adding different users. This means you should practice assigning various roles and permissions to test how access controls work in SAP BTP. For instance, try giving a developer access to only certain development tools while restricting administrative functions. Practicing this ensures you can confidently manage user security in real projects. Explore the service marketplace in your subaccount. This is where you can find and enable various SAP BTP services for your applications. For example, you might activate the SAP HANA Cloud Database service to manage your data. Taking this step allows you to build powerful, integrated solutions tailored to your needs. Remember, you can always come back and adjust settings. This means configurations aren't permanent and can be fine-tuned later. For example, after setting up an application's security, you can later modify user access as roles change. This flexibility ensures your solutions can evolve with your business needs.